The Jacksonville Jaguars are a good team, and they're going to do well this year. They're going to make the playoffs, I believe. I think they're going to win the division. And they got more good news going into their week 3 matchup with the Texans. They're 1-1. They wanted to beat the Chiefs, but we'll get to some good news that just kind of keeps piling up. We're Detroit Lions fans, and we have this channel. We talk about teams that don't get the love nationally like they should. Jacksonville Jaguars, one of the top on that list. They're a good team. They've got a good coach, good players, good quarterback. They should be more talked about. They're just not. And when you talk about good news, don't take it for granted, because the Detroit Lions have had terrible news all week, player after player being injured, season enders, IR, out for 4, 5, 8 week type stuff. So when you have good news like this, you take it and run with it. So let's take a look at it here. First things first. The first good news is that the Jags are 9.5 point favorites over the Houston Texans. So that feels like a huge number. And the reason this is good news is because Vegas doesn't mess around. They know. And so the fact that they've got you almost at a double digit win, or over under, is it's just a great, excuse me, not over under, but almost a 10 point favorite. Is just shows that Vegas loves the Jags. I love the Jags. And it really shows that that was just a weird game last week. The Chiefs are still good. Their defense does random weird things. It almost cost the Lions a victory. The Lions couldn't have a really good offense, but just could not figure them out week 1. Ended up scoring enough to get the victory, but it's super random. That's the word that I use for that Chiefs defense. So anyway, you look at the Texans, you're favored by a lot. I love that. Next thing is the Jags are going to be able to run the ball, I think, on the Houston Texans. And then the Houston Texans had a pretty good secondary, but more good news coming out of it. Let me get to it here. It's I lost it. Stand by. Hold on. Stingley, it went to their main page, but what happened? It's on their main page. Derek Stingley is going to be out for this game, it looks like. So the Jaguars are going to be able to go through the air and run the ball. This has to be a victory. Like, you just has to be a victory. You're a good team that had a little stumble last week. And I look at the Jags schedule, and it's like, all of a sudden, let's go win this division. Like, come on, seriously, go win this division, get in the playoffs, have a home playoff game. And you do that by beating the Houston Texans, who are, Craig and I thought, we cover them on this channel as well, because no one talks about them, maybe rightfully so, because we thought they would be a better team. But if you're the Jags, you can play good defense, good enough defense. You've got enough players, but offensively, man, you can go to the air with everything that you've got. So let's take a look at, I like pulling this up, is if you look at Jacksonville's depth chart and who they have at wide receiver, it's clear what the game plan is going to be, especially with Stingley out. So let's pull that up right now. Ridley is a stud. I love Ridley. He's going to do great things. Zay Jones is questionable, but you've got other players that can step in. But ETN's going to run the ball. Like, I have no question there. Offensive line's playing well, but Kelvin Ridley should have a big game, and because the defense is good and good enough to stop this Texans team. So if you are a Jags fan, let me just give you two contrasting things. Both the Lions and the Jags come into this season, high expectations, did well last year. The Lions start off 1-0, beat the Chiefs, let's go. Then they get punched in the mouth by Seattle, lose starter after starter to injury, IR, season enders, and now they're sitting at 1-1. The Lions are sitting at 1-1, but it feels way worse. It feels bad. Jags get an opening game victory, lose to the Chiefs. It feels much better. It's 1-1. Dang it, would have loved to have that. Would have been loved to be 2-0, but we're fine. We're in a manageable division. We're generally healthy. We're gonna be okay. There's such a difference in 1-1s that right there. Lions, it does not feel good at all. Like, all the air is out of the balloon. It's like, this is bad. Jags, fine. Absolutely fine. You're going to go get a manageable game here. You're a 10-point favorite. Go win this game. they've got key injuries on their side. They've got a rookie quarterback. The Jags are going to be just fine. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. This game seems like a manageable, winnable game for the Jags. Gotta have it game though, right? You're starting to get into that just here in the early part of the season. This is a must. It's not a must win, but come on, you got to go beat this team. Be 2-1. You level set all right. We're all good now after 3 games. We're 2-1. We're right on the path that we need to win the division. So I think that the Jags can be a team that, man, I don't know. The AFC is tough, but it's also pretty weird. And we're still trying to figure it out. So let's take a look at what it's a brutal that the offense with such high expectations failed to capitalize on a great defensive outing. This is last week. I hear you, understand. Anytime you can hold Patrick Mahomes to that many points, you'd think, well, we're probably going to win, right? That said, losing by a matter of inches early in the season to the defending champs should be a small bump in the road. Exactly what I was saying. It's imperative for Jacksonville to rebound quickly at a division opponent. Failing to knock the Chiefs off mean the Jags won't yet be considered a top-tier team, but they got to prove they're still knocking on that door by wiping out an inferior Texans roster. That's perfectly said, and I think they do it. So Trevor Lawrence said this after the loss. That's a team that beat us in the playoffs last year. Kind of want to get that. Schedule comes out week 2, Kansas City. You want to take care of business in week 1, and they get your shot at home, and you lay an egg offensively. So these dudes are going to come out firing, okay? They are going to just take it out on the Houston Texans. I still don't think you beat them. I still kind of like taking the Texans and the points here just because on a betting standpoint, but the Jags win this game. I mean, come on. They have to win this game. Especially, like I said, you feel like your defense, you let the defense down. They played so well. It got so many turnovers flying around. It's fun to watch those guys, but yeah, it's definitely really, really frustrating when you have that much out there, especially being in the red zone 4 times and no points. This is a good team. They're going to be just fine. They're going to let it all go this weekend. You just look back to those plays. If you score one of those possessions, the game is completely different. If we score on that 1 yard line, we score on that possession, get the 2-point conversion, it's a tie game. So there's a lot of things, but it's definitely frustrating. A lot of good news for the Texans or for the Jags. You are in great shape. You had a 1 weird game. They can't let that stop them. They're going to go forward, hammer the Texans, move on. You're 2-1. The whole season's in front of you. Manageable division, home playoff game. Let's go. Again, if you're new to our channel, we make videos for teams that don't get the love nationally. Jags are just fine. Or Detroit Lions fans. We like the Jags. They're that underdog, never really been great franchise, just like the Lions. But there's a lot to be excited about, and things are happening and going in the right direction. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all